Hey guys, it's your boy Easy and welcome back to my garage. Today I'm going to be changing the wheel bearings on my Royal Enfield Himalayan 450. Every time you do a tire change, your wheel's coming off the bike, so that's the best time to check your bearings to make sure that they're not worn out and busted and they have enough grease. And if they are worn out, it's a good time to replace them and re-grease them. And if they're fine, it's definitely a good idea to re-grease them anyway. So definitely do that every tire change. But if you feel like your wheels your bearings might be busted, there's a quick way to check without removing the wheel. I'll show you how. So first get your wheel off the ground a little and rotate it gently. And you're trying to feel for any notches where the wheel kind of gets stuck in one position for a little bit and needs a little bit of force to keep rotating it. And that means your bearing is likely worn out and needs a change. Another way to check is to twist your wheel laterally. Grab one end of the wheel and then the other end of the wheel and try to twist it. So I'm going to push this away and then pull this towards me. And what you're trying to feel for is a little bit of free play. If you don't feel any free play, you're likely good. But if you do feel any free play whatsoever, it's time to change your bearings. And it's exactly the same procedure to test the bearings on your rear wheel. Rotate it and feel for any notches, and then try to twist the rear wheel laterally to make sure there's no free play. If you have to change your bearings, you're going to have to remove the wheels from the bike. I've already got a video showing you how to do that, to remove the front and the rear wheels. I'll put a link in the description, so go check that out. And once we remove the wheels, we can go ahead and change the bearings. Okay, I've got my front wheel here, and I've rested it on two wooden blocks right here and here. The rims are resting on it, so it's protecting the rims as well as my brake disc. Nothing is touching the ground directly. And now let's go ahead and examine the seals and the bearings and see if we can potentially reuse them. So take out the spacer first. And if the spacer falls out without any effort, the seal is not a tight fit around the spacer, that's the first indication that your seal needs to be replaced. It's already damaged. That's why it's not a tight fit. We'll give this a clean later, the spacer, and we're going to reuse the spacer, so just keep that aside for now. Your seal will likely be dirty, so spray some rubber safe degreaser on it. Give it a wipe just so you can examine the condition of the seal. If there's any kind of tear or scratches or any sign of damage, it's time to replace the seal. Let's go ahead and examine the bearing now, the wheel bearing, ball bearing, which is underneath the rubber seal. Stick your finger in and try to rotate the bearing. The only resistance you should feel is from the grease, but it should be a smooth motion. If you feel any kind of clicks or any kind of restriction other than the grease and it's not a smooth motion, your bearings need to be replaced immediately. And there should not be any free play in the bearings as well. Any of those signs, go ahead and replace your bearings immediately. The other side of the wheel is identical. There'll be a spacer, a rubber seal, and an identical ball bearing. So again, go ahead and examine the condition of those. And you could potentially reuse them if they are fine. Between the two bearings, one here and one on the other side, there is a metal spacer. And it should be perfectly aligned with the two bearings. This is where the axle goes through, the wheel axle. There you go, you can see the spacer. It's a long spacer. It might be a pretty tight fit. The bearings might be pressing the spacer, so you might not be able to move the spacer out of the way with your hand. In that case, spray some WD-40 or some penetrating oil, and then use a nice rod, a thicker rod, and try to get some leverage to move the spacer out of the way. You're going to need to move the spacer out of the way. That's how you can drive the bearings out. If you have decided to replace your bearings and or your seals, you're going to have to remove the seal first. So grab a flathead screwdriver. Just pry the existing seal out. And there's the ball bearing. There are two ways to get the ball bearing out. One is without any special tools, so you just need a drift and a hammer. And what we're going to do is we have to get the spacer out of the way so we can rest the drift on the inner race of the bearing. The inner race is right here, this metal part. And so we're trying to get the drift onto the inner race of the other bottom bearing. And then we're just going to use a hammer and hammer it out. We want to be careful to get the bearing out as straight as possible. So I'm going to hammer this edge of the bearing race first, push that out a little, and then hit the opposite edge of the bearing race, get that out a little. So I'm trying to drive the bearing out as straight as possible. If it's proving to be very difficult, your bearing seems to be stuck, you can use a propane torch or a heat gun to heat up your wheel hub around. And don't be afraid, you won't damage the paint or the metal. Just heat it up so the wheel hub will expand a little, and then it'll be easier to drive the bearing out. So I'll show you this method first. So I'll remove the bottom bearing using this drift and hammer method. This top bearing I'll show you how to remove with the bearing puller, which I've got here. And this is actually a lot easier than the hammer and drift method. But I'll show you both. There you go. Let me get the wheel out of the way. And you can see the spacer from the bottom, the bearing fell out, and the seal fell out as well. And this is the spacer that sits between the two bearings. Now we just need to, there's only the bearing on this side that needs to be taken out. So I'm going to use the bearing puller method to pull the bearing out. So this is just a standard bearing puller. The puller is basically grabbed onto the inner race of the bearing. And now I'm just going to ratchet this nut, which is basically just going to pull the bearing out. And it's going to pull it out straight. So this is a lot easier than the hammer and drift method. And it's less chance of damaging the hub as well because you're pulling it out straight. And there you go. It's quite easy, and the bearing's out. You can see right here, it's grabbing onto the inner race, and you pull the bearing straight out. Okay, I just want to show you the state of the old bearing that I took out. So I just took out the little the seal from the ball bearing, and take a look inside. These bearings come packed with grease, but there's a lot of other gunk and dirt and stuff as well. So this looks pretty bad to me. It's vital that you check your bearings every tire change and grease your rubber seals in your wheel hubs so dirt doesn't get into your bearings. Before we go ahead and install the new bearings and seals, let's give everything a nice clean. So I'm going to clean the wheel hub with some brake cleaner, and also the two spacers I'm going to clean with the brake cleaner as well. The internal spacer, it's got a little rubber component. It's plastic, I think, not rubber. So I'm not going to use brake cleaner because it's not safe. I'm going to just use a plastic and rubber safe degreaser just for the internal spacer. Time to install the bearing. So let's start with one side. I've got the new bearing here. I got it from SKF. I'll put the size, ball bearing size, in the description of this video. So you can buy it from SKF, NTN, or wherever, or you can buy it directly from Royal Enfield. I put the Royal Enfield part number as well. A trick here is if you want to make the driving in process smoother, you can stick the new bearings in the freezer for a couple hours before installing it, and that'll shrink the bearings just a few 10,000ths of a millimeter, and that's just enough so it'll go in slightly easier. Just like always, there are a couple of ways to drive in the bearing. One is without any special tools. So first, get your bearing lined up. Place the old bearing on top of the new bearing, and then use a hammer to tap. Again, tap it evenly. You want to drive the bearing straight in, so you got to tap one side, then tap the other side, and keep tapping on the other side until the bearing's fully driven in. However, I like using special tools. This is a bearing driver set from Motion Pro, and it comes with all different sizes for different size bearings, and this makes the job a lot easier. So this bearing driver allows you to tap the bearing in straight, and there's no way of driving it in an angle, and it'll make sure only to make impact on the outer race of the bearing, so the bearing itself won't get damaged. The tone will change when the bearing is completely driven in. There you go, fully driven in. Let's turn the wheel over to drive the bearing in on the other side. Before we drive the bearing in on the other side, don't forget to insert the internal spacer that sits between the two bearings. So let me go ahead and drop this in. And now we're ready to install the new bearing. And this one, drive it in the middle. Make sure the internal spacer is lined up exactly with the bearing so you can see through it. Because if you drive the bearing in all the way and the spacer is misaligned, you won't be able to get the axle in. So I'm just going to drive it in a little first. Check the spacer. Okay, so you can see the bearings completely driven in and the spacer is aligned so the axle will fit through. Time to install the new seals. They're from SKF as well. I'll put the size of the seals in the description. I'll also put the Royal Enfield part number, so if you want to buy the seals from Royal Enfield, you can. So make sure obviously the side with the writing is facing outwards, and this one you can just push it in by hand, and there's nothing wrong with just tapping this with a hammer as well. Make sure this is fully seated. Take a nice generous amount of waterproof grease and line the inner lip. Let's go ahead and install the spacer, and let's turn the wheel over and do the same on the other side. Bearings and seals all replaced on the front wheel. Let's go ahead and install the front wheel back to the motorcycle. Take a look at my front wheel and rear wheel removal and installation video. The link's in the description. Let's have a look at our rear wheel's bearings and seals now. Again, to take off your rear wheel, take a look at my wheel removal video. The rear wheel has 2 ball bearings in the wheel hub and 1 ball bearing in the sprocket carrier right here. So if you take a look here, there's a rubber seal here and there's a ball bearing behind it. Give this a clean and examine your seal for any tear or damage. And also go ahead and examine the bearing. In the wheel hub, on the side of the sprocket, there is no rubber seal. There's the ball bearing right here. Again, go ahead and examine that. There's an internal spacer between this ball bearing and the other ball bearing on the other side. So let's take a look at the other side now. The side with the brake disc. Again, give this area a clean. There's a rubber seal here and there's a ball bearing behind it. Just to recap, your rear wheel hub has 2 ball bearings, one on this side, one on that side. And it has 1 rubber seal right here. The other side, which is the side of the sprocket, doesn't have a rubber seal, but the rubber seal is on the sprocket itself. And there's another ball bearing. So there are 3 ball bearings in total and 2 rubber seals in total. So let's go and replace all of that. So I rushed through the filming of the removal process, and that's because it's exactly the same as the front wheel. I removed the bearing as well as the seal from the sprocket, and I removed the 2 bearings and the 1 seal and the 1 internal spacer from the rear wheel hub. Now it's time to put fresh bearings and fresh seals. So I've got my bearings here from SKF. I've also got the seals. Again, all the sizes will be in the description of the video, so check that out for reference. And now I'm just going to repeat the install process same as the front wheel. So I'm going to clean the internal surface with some brake cleaner. Once it's dry, I'm going to grease it up with some waterproof grease. Then I'm going to drive the new bearing in, put the seal, and then grease the inner lip of the seal with some waterproof grease, a generous amount of waterproof grease. So let me start with the sprocket holder first. And I forgot to mention, drive the new bearing in with the text side. So one side of the bearing has got text, so make sure that the text is always facing outwards, so it's easy to read the size and stuff. Moving on to the rear wheel hub, this is the sprocket side where the sprocket will go. So I'm gonna clean this, drive the new bearing in, flip the wheel over. On the other side, the brake this side, I'm going to first drop the internal spacer, then I'm going to drive the other bearing in, and then put the seal on the other side of the brake this side. Rear wheel hub done. Just make sure that the spacer, internal spacer inside is perfectly aligned with the two ball bearings on either side. We're going to clean these three spacers. Just lube up the spacer a little bit, and then one spacer goes in here. Okay, nice tight fit. Install the push drive. Grease up this little weird spacer. Grab your sprocket holder. The spacer goes inside the ball bearing of the sprocket holder. And then attach your sprocket holder to the wheel hub. Grab your final spacer. Grease that up a little as well. And install the spacer. Okay, nice tight fit. All that's left to do is install the rear wheel to your motorcycle, set the correct chain tension and alignment. I've got videos for both of those, links in the description, so go check that out. And now take your bike for a test ride. That's it. Changing your bearings is very simple to do. It's best to inspect your bearings every time you do a tire change because your wheel's coming off the bike anyway. And grease it up, and if it needs to be replaced, replace it. These bearings, if you take care of them, should last a very, very long time, so you don't need to change a bearing every tire change, but do take care of your bearings. Hope you guys like this video. Until next time, it's your boy Easy. Take care.